It's Scrappy Kathy with a brand new type of video. This time I'm doing a one of Shimelle's sketches for the chance. Well, it's for a Secret Not Secret Kit Club Scrap Party bonus challenge this weekend, sponsored by Sara Scraps, and I'm making the video for a chance to be featured in Sara Scraps' series called Shimelle Sketches Reimagined. And it's just, I love everything Sara does for that. I love all of Shimelle's sketches. And this is the first time I've done anything for anything like this. So bear with me, I'm excited. This is the sketch. It's relatively simple. In my kind of overview, what I took from it is that we've got about a 4x12 bit here, and it actually looks like it's divided into maybe 4x8, and then 4x4, and then 8x4, and then 8x8. I actually did a full 4x12, and I cut it down a little bit so that there's a border around it. 2 photos or 2 4x6-ish kinds of things there, a little cluster here, title, and a cluster here, and a cluster here, and some journaling. So I'm going to use a variety of products, mostly from Shimelle. Let me get a couple of the others out of the way. I just got this little set of bows, and I'm going with a lot of yellow because I'm also using this week's rules at the Mind the Scrap Summer Team Challenge, and yellow, the use of yellow is one of the rules there, and as you'll see, I'm kind of emphasizing the yellow all around, so I'm actually going to use those in an unusual way. I think these are Recollections version of some old Maggie Holmes bows. I've got a stamp from this Dilutions stamp and stencil set, and I love it. You can't skip and be unhappy at the same time. Great sentiment. Let's see. I've got, these are the scraps from what I've used. I've got box of crayons, Go Now Go, Glitter Girl, more Glitter Girl. I think there's some Sparkle City in here somewhere, and some, Little by Little. I think this is Little by Little. And I'm gonna kind of show you what I've done some pre-work so that it's not a really long video, because for those of you who aren't familiar with my videos, I do somewhat live action because I want you to see all the steps that are required to bring things together kind of in real time, so you'll have an idea when you're trying to do it yourself. I have selected these papers. They're about as diverse as you can get, and they still, to me, kind of seem to go together. And I've got them on foam, each of the sections on foam, so I'm going to go ahead and put those down. And I'm leaving about, I cut 1/4 of an inch off each side, so I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch margin of yellow there. And we'll see if that holds true. It should hold true between the segments as well. Okay, and yay, it seems to be working. All right, this, I really wanted to use this paper, but it kind of just wasn't working with some of the others, so I chose the polka dotty side, and I love it. That box of crayons may be the paper collection of all time that had excited me the most. Let me get this a little bit more in place there, and then I may have this one down a little too far. Let me bring that up tiny bit. Okay, now I'm going to use one photo and one saying, which will actually become my title. This is a cut down piece of watercolor paper card that came in a Mind the Scrap kit, and I believe it's Heidi Swap. I'm going to do my mixed media on here. I'm going to use both this Pink Fresh liquid watercolor and this Distress Oxide and Spiced Marmalade, and you say, but where's the orange? And I'm going to add orange kind of as an accent color. I've die cut some things from the set of dies that, the first set of dies that Bramble Fox issued, and I've cut these out of a piece of Vicky Boutin pre-made mixed media that has blended oranges and yellows, and so I'm going to try to work those in, but we'll see where that happens. And this is my photo. I took the natural photo because I knew I was going to use bright colors, and I tried to find a filter that was going to just pump up the colors. In the original, the water looked gray. Their swimsuits that's a lime green as opposed to the citron that it is now. And this is a really, really vivid fuchsia pink as opposed to the kind of muted pink. And I ran it through this filter not knowing what I'd get. It's the new one for the day. And it actually kind of turned it all yellow. And I thought, okay, that goes along with the yellow theme. And it kind of muted these. It makes them go, in my mind, with this, which is the more muted palette on there. So we'll see how that works. And I'm going to maybe put them sort of like this, or maybe like this. I'm not sure what I'll do there. But right now, and I'll decide after I see what this looks like. I've popped this up on foam so that when I put it on top of this paper, there will be some shadowing down below there underneath each letter. And I think that'll make it easier to read. So, and I've got foam on the back of this. I've pre-foamed just about everything. So let me put that aside and put this paper aside, and let's do some mixed media here. I'm going to do the spiced marmalade on there like that, and I'm gonna maybe spritz it with a little bit of water. I'm using the packaging technique because that's one of the requirements at the Mind the Scrap team challenge. The teams determine, Emma Clark starts everybody out with a set of rules, and then each team makes, and those rules are good for a week, and then you switch it. If you've ever played Calvin Ball or done a grab 5, this will be familiar to you. So I'm gonna kind of do that, and maybe smoosh it about. I want to get some, I'm getting a little too much yellow, and yes, I know that I have a yellow theme, but I'm going to try to bring in a little more of the orange. Excuse me. And this should contrast nicely. There's primarily green and blue, you know, cooler colors in the background. Okay, I'm going to actually do something different here. I'm going to actually edge that with some orange. I'm going to dry. I'm going to put, well, let me do it this way. I'll dry it like this. And I like that because what happens is the orange kind of forms a little bit of a frame around the splotch. And some people go to great lengths to avoid that. I actually like it, so I try to emphasize it and do something like that every chance I get. So let me just kind of wipe that up, and this is going to give me another pretty paper towel, but I just want to put that aside for a minute. Let me do this. Just ink those edges and kind of get that orange in there, and it should look very similar to the shade that was in the Vicki Boutin paper. I'll kind of smudge that around a bit. Okay, I think I'm done with that. I'm gonna put the lid on this, and the page should go together pretty quickly once I get started. So let me get my glass mat cleaned. And I know I had a plastic thing over my glass mat, and so you're wondering why I don't do it on the glass mat. The glass mat is here to show me what's on camera. It's my guide to know where I have to put things so that you can see them. Okay, so now I'm going, oh my goodness, I've gotten some stuff on my hands. You know what? Why don't we just go with it? Let me pull my packaging. I'll just add some around. So that it looks okay. So this looks intentional, right? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, now, though, I feel like it might be a good idea to clean my hands. So, getting back to what I'm doing here, I want to, the joys of mass media. That was a slip, and yet so true. Okay, let's do this. Now I wanted this E is going to be over the yellow. I'll make sure that's lined up. Okay, I like that, and I can read it. The E is readable here because it goes over onto that charcoal gray color. Let me, okay, there's a little bit that shows right there, and I don't need to unglue it, but I am going to cut that off. So it's not visible on the page. Okay. And now, I kind of wanted it this way. But and that's kind of how the sketch is drawn. When I looked at that, this green is very different from this green, and I don't mind them existing on the same page like this, but I might not want it quite so close. So I think I'll do it this way. I still want this overlapping. And so I'm going to put some foam back here so that this gets lifted up above. And I can see that I'm getting some of that ink on my fingers still, so it's good that we decided to now to press that down. I'm gonna do that, and that is exactly where I want it. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, now I have a cute little strip to anchor the cluster up here. And I have it on foam. I want it to, it doesn't quote unquote go with anything else, but I'm gonna try to work it in. If you'll notice, this little strip goes all the way up to the top of the border, and I like that about it. So I'm going to do these sunglasses. That's a sunglass print, but I've got some sunglasses here that I thought I would use as an embellishment, and I want these little foam pieces to be down below because I'm going to have them hanging off there a little bit. Okay, see, I want it to go like that, and I have this foam down a little too low. And let me get that on there and there. And I thought I'd kind of offset it like that. And then I have this camera cut from the box of crayons paper. I love the yellow Polaroid, and it's the other side of this green that I've used here. And so I'm going to put it in as kind of part of a cluster there with the sunglasses. So I'll have it underneath like that, but maybe up a little more onto there. Now, I have these yellow bows, and I started to use stars on the lenses of the sunglasses, but I thought, why not bows? So let me get some of my magical Nouveau adhesive here. Get it right smack dab in the middle. Get that bow on there. And this bow. It's a cute, fun beach outing picture. Let me kind of wipe that off. Thankfully, the glue dries clear and matte, so you won't be able to tell that I did that, but I just got a little too much on there, and I don't really want a glob of it showing. It would disappear soon enough, but okay, so that's on there. I have a little saying here that I thought, it's the little Live a Colorful Life, and I thought I'd put it up here. Is that right? I cut the wrong end of that off. That's okay, because this end cuts off just as easily, and the foam is still there. So let me have it over the overlap part with the glue in there. So it is just kind of extending, and it keeps wanting to be at an angle. And if it ends up that way, I don't think I'd mind that too much. Now, another of the requirements, obviously this is going to be my title. So another of the requirements is to use some numbers. I've also got this Diane Reevely saying that I think I want to overlap onto the sand. And I thought maybe I could use that and put a little bit of foam to handle the difference in elevation there. I'll put it, the foam is going to go over here. Go there, and then I'll it seems like I need more foam, so I'm going to put another layer. And then I'll rest whatever I'm resting over there so that you don't see foam or adhesive. Here, and then I've got this, which is the little saying, and I thought maybe I could do a star. I have some stars here. I have navy blue, red, and white and light blue. Let me go with the light blue since that's what color paper I stamped that on. And I may just put it right there. Okay, that's a Bramble Fox perspective. And oh, by the way, I wanted to get this paper in somehow because I love it. And the best I could do was use it as a mat on the photo. So, and I think it works fine there. I've got this little starfish and this little anchor, which I thought maybe could go. I like the anchor overhanging. The starfish gets lost there, so I may use the starfish here. It kind of might get lost there too, but I tell you what I'm gonna do. I will put a little bit of foam back there, tiny little piece of foam, and I'll let the glue dry. I don't think I can use my tape runner for this. And it's a starfish that'll be up here by a real star, by a star. Maybe right here, and maybe I'll work another star into that. How about that? Okay, and then I'll use the anchor over on the other side, maybe with something. I think this blue star and the other star that I use here will draw attention to the starfish. So let's see, I think I'll use the white one. And I want to put it right here where it's not the same elevation and not the same orientation as this one. Okay, not going to use this frame. I had entertained the idea of doing this, but it doesn't go there. Okay, now I've got this little guy that I thought could hang off over here, or maybe down here. I like that. So let me just kind of put a tiny dab of glue and it's not going to take much for it to stick. So I've got it there. Actually, I don't like it there now that I see it. So maybe here. Let me get my tweezers. See if I can move that just a tad to get a different angle. Kind of press that down. Okay, now we're nearing the end. So I've got my numbers. I mentioned that I have a requirement to use numbers. So I've cut out numbers from a Glitter Girl sheet to use as the date. And I'm going to put the numbers over these dots here. So I've got them on foam. I think I may be able to use the tape runner here. That's kind of hard to put on, but I don't want it to move around. So I'm going to do it kind of up a little bit so that the dot looks a little bit like a shadow. So it's May 18th, 2007, and that's Allie and Katie. And I'm going to put the 7 on first, and that I will do with glue. And then I'll kind of scooch the O under it, like so. Okay, so with the liquid glue, it's not going to dry right away, so I'll probably have some fussing to do with that. And I'll use liquid glue on here. I'm almost finished, and I like it. It's another layout that's unusual for me in that it has no flowers. Let's see. I'll hold the 7 there. Try to sneak that under it, and I'm okay if they're a little wonky. Okay. That's great. I may add some journaling, but I think I'm good with it now. Let me add a star up here. And I might look and see if I have any other embellishment. That might work kind of right down in there. And there's where I maybe could use a flower or a heart. A heart. Let me pull an enamel heart. I have a, I have this Glitter Girl. It's my last Glitter Girl button. And I can kind of scooch it under there. Oh, perfect for a couple little girls. And there we go. Okay, it's done. I have loved doing this. I love that sketch. It's simple and wide open to interpretation. It was easy to fit in the Mind the Scrap rules for this week, and I think it's going to work. Let me kind of get this down and anchored a little bit better without messing anything up. There we go. Okay, perfect. So I like this, the messiness over top of these kind of paint swaths, if you will. And I managed to get in both my little sayings that I wanted, a myriad of different Shimelle collections, and I kind of dealt with my mess down here, and I kind of like the, let me actually do some splatters on here, even down here. Okay, so I've got splatters and the smooshing packaging technique and lots of stuff that needs to dry. So thank you for watching, and thank you, Sarah, for giving us the opportunity to join you in your fun journey through your vast sketch library on your phone. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, check out my channel. I have a few other series and playlists there that you might like. Bye.